You think you know what a goalkeeper does. Dives left, saves the ball, kicks it long. That's what you've watched for 100 years. But look at any top team today and you'll see something strange. The goalkeeper doesn't stay on his line anymore. He's standing next to the center backs. He's passing through midfield. He's starting attacks from the back. The position has been completely reinvented and most fans haven't noticed. The goalkeeper you grew up watching no longer exists. Your goalkeeper is a defender now. For most of football history, the goalkeeper had one job: stop the ball. That's it. They stayed on the goal line, waited for shots, and booted the ball as far as possible. Training was all about reflexes, diving, and catching crosses. Footwork, barely practiced. Playing out from the back, not a thing. Some keepers couldn't kick with their weaker foot at all. And that was fine, because the system didn't ask them to. The goalkeeper was a specialist who existed only in the 18-yard box. The shift started quietly. Coaches realized that having an extra player outside the box changed everything. A goalkeeper who could sweep up through balls behind the defense meant teams could push their defensive line higher. This wasn't just about shot stopping anymore, it was about controlling space. The sweeper keeper acts as a safety net for the entire defensive system. And once teams realized this, the position started evolving fast. Suddenly, staying on your line felt like a wasted opportunity. One name started it all. Manuel Neuer didn't just play goalkeeper, he redefined it. At the 2010 World Cup, and especially 2014, Neuer played so far off his line, he was basically a defender. His famous sweep against Algeria in 2014 became the defining image of the new position. He made more touches outside the box than some midfielders. Suddenly, every team wanted a sweeper keeper. Neuer didn't just change how Germany played, he changed what every scout looks for in a goalkeeper. Modern goalkeepers are part of the build-up. Teams like Manchester City and Barcelona treat their keeper as the first attacker. When the defense is pressed, the goalkeeper drops into the back line to create a 4v3 or 5v4 advantage. They're not just watching the play, they're part of it. This changes everything about how teams break a press. The goalkeeper becomes the extra man who makes the passing options add up, and it forces opponents to commit more players forward just to cover him. Distribution is now as important as shot stopping. A goalkeeper who can't pass under pressure is a liability, no matter how good their reflexes are. Teams look for keepers who can hit long switches to wingers, thread passes between midfield lines, and start counterattacks with one throw. Ederson's assist numbers are closer to a midfielder than a traditional keeper. Alisson's long passes created goals Liverpool wouldn't have scored otherwise. Distribution is no longer a bonus, it's a requirement. The 2026 World Cup is the perfect stage for the sweeper keeper. With 48 teams and 1 in 4 matches, the tournament is longer and more complex than ever. Teams will face varying styles, pressing systems, and tactical approaches. Having a goalkeeper who can read the game, sweep behind a high line, and participate in build-up is no longer optional, it's survival. The expanded format rewards tactical flexibility, and the sweeper keeper is the ultimate tactical weapon in a tournament that demands adaptability. Here's where 2026 changes everything. Expanded 26-player squads mean teams can carry 3 specialized goalkeepers instead of 2. And we're already seeing the trend, teams picking a third keeper specifically for their footwork or sweeping ability. Not just as an emergency backup. Some squads will carry a traditional shot stopper for penalty shootouts and a sweeper keeper for open play. The extra roster spot has turned goalkeeper selection into a tactical decision rather than a formality. Footwork has become the most trained skill in modern goalkeeping. Academy keepers now spend as much time on passing drills as they do on catching crosses. One-touch passing, volleys, driven passes with both feet, these are daily requirements. The modern goalkeeper needs to be comfortable enough on the ball to play in midfield. Some coaches even train keepers with outfield players during possession drills. If your goalkeeper can't pass, your team is playing with 10 men in possession. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The sweeper keeper is a high-risk, high-reward position. Every time a goalkeeper steps outside the box, they gamble. One mistimed sweep, one misplaced pass, and it's a goal. We've seen it happen. Karius in the Champions League final. Onana's early struggles at Manchester United. The position requires incredible decision-making under pressure. The reward is enormous controlling space, building attacks, breaking presses. But the risk? A highlight reel mistake that gets replayed forever. Some moments define the position. Neuer's sweep against Algeria at the 2014 World Cup, the image of a goalkeeper winning a foot race outside the box. Alisson's assist to Salah against Manchester United, a perfect long pass from his own box. Ederson's no-look passes and 80-meter assists. Ter Stegen sweeping up behind Barcelona's high line week after week. These moments didn't just win games. They changed how millions of fans understood what a goalkeeper could do. Each one pushed the position forward. Smart opponents have adapted. They know the sweeper-keeper leaves space behind. The counter strategy? Long shots from distance, chips over the keeper's head, and pressing traps designed to force the goalkeeper into mistakes. When Liverpool pressed De Gea, they knew his footwork was weaker. When teams face Ederson, they block his short passing options to force long kicks. The sweeper-keeper's greatest strength, being involved in play, also creates vulnerabilities that top coaches exploit. Goalkeeper coaching has transformed completely. 20 years ago, GK training was about falling technique and catching. Today it includes tactical positioning, passing under pressure, decision-making drills with video analysis, and sweeper-specific exercises. Many top clubs now employ dedicated footwork coaches and in-possession goalkeeper trainers. The old-school GK coach who just hits balls at a keeper for an hour, that dinosaur is extinct. Modern coaching treats goalkeepers as outfield players first, shot stoppers second. This shift starts at youth level. Academies now train goalkeepers as outfield players for their first few years. Kids who grow up wanting to be keepers are required to play in defense and midfield during training. The philosophy is simple. Before you learn to stop shots, you need to understand the game. By the time they specialize, these young keepers have the passing range, positional awareness, and composure that the modern game demands. It's producing a generation of goalkeepers who look more like midfielders. The sweeper keeper has changed how entire teams defend. With a goalkeeper who can sweep, the defensive line can push 10 to 15 yards higher. This compresses the pitch, makes it harder for opponents to play through midfield, and creates more offside traps. The entire defensive structure shifts. Teams without a sweeper keeper are forced to defend deeper, which invites pressure and limits attacking options. The position doesn't just affect the goalkeeper, it defines the team's entire defensive identity. At the 2026 World Cup, this positional evolution will be on full display. Watch which teams can build from the back and which teams can't. The teams with sweeper keepers will control possession higher up the pitch. Teams with traditional keepers will be forced into long ball strategies. In a tournament where every tactical edge matters, the goalkeeper position could decide who advances and who goes home. The 2026 World Cup won't just be won by the best attackers or defenders, it'll be won by the team with the most complete goalkeeper. Where does it go from here? Some coaches already experiment with goalkeepers who step into midfield during possession, creating a 10v11 situation in the opponent's half. We've seen Ederson play passes from positions where strikers used to stand. The next evolution might be goalkeepers who take free kicks, or keepers who act as deep-lying playmakers. The position is still evolving. The goalkeeper of 2030 will look as different from today's keeper as Neuer looked from the keepers of the 1990s. The goalkeeper isn't just a goalkeeper anymore. They're a defender, a midfielder, a playmaker, and a sweeper all in one. The next time you watch a match, don't watch the ball. Watch the goalkeeper. Watch where they stand, where they pass, how they read the game. That player in the different colored shirt might be the most important tactical piece on the pitch. If you want to see the game differently, subscribe because every position is changing. And most fans haven't even noticed.